Hi everyone, thank you for stopping by. Today's video I am making a wreath, and this is the cutest little cow wreath I got from Temu. These little blue flowers were from Walmart. I thought they were just such a pretty blue. I've got blue pipe cleaners, they're from Hobby Lobby. These two ribbons are from Craft Outlet. And I got this one from Sam's Club. This Deco mesh was from Christmas at Hobby Lobby. So this was Christmas too, but I had got this burlap from Walmart. But I got both of those when they were like 75% off. Then so here I have my Dollar Tree wreath frame. And I'm showing you the crossbars. And these are the 4 rungs within that crossbar. So this whole area is called a section. In the first inner 2 rings, I'm going to be adding 1 pipe cleaner. And I just put it on there, not tightening it too tight, but just doing a couple of twists, and I move it out of the way. On the outer 2 rings, I place 2 pipe cleaners, basically doing the same thing, making sure that I'm not tightening it too tight to where the rings on the wreath frame kind of bow together, because this is Dollar Tree stuff, and while I love these wreath frames, they're very affordable. Especially if you do a lot of wreaths, they're very affordable. And so, but you know, the metal will kind of bend real easily. So I've got these cable mounts that I got from Amazon, and I'm just going to place them on the top and the bottom of my little sign. The sign is like 8 inches, but it's so super cute, I just had to have it. And while I'm waiting for my glue gun to heat up still, I'm going to just take a pipe cleaner and attach it to each of the cable mounts. And I just make it go halfway, excuse me, and then I give it a couple of good twists. And then what you'll see me do in here in just a second is I will take some hot glue and add some hot glue around the perimeter of each of the cable mounts, just for extra security. So I don't know how well the cable mounts hold up just by themselves, but I know this Gorilla hot glue is phenomenal. If you don't use it, I can't brag on them enough. You should try it out, and it holds on to everything that I use for wreaths. It holds it on very well, and I've never had a problem with anything falling off. So I'll take that and put it aside and let it dry. So I think this, it was 18 inches long, and I want to say it was like, I think maybe 19 feet or something like that. Well, I am going to take one of the edges, and I'm going to crinkle it up on the cut side. I'm just gathering it, and I'm gonna attach it to a crossbar on the wreath frame to start off my wreath. This is how I always start them. Other wreath makers do it differently. So I attach it to the wreath frame using a zip tie, and then I'll just take my zip tie gun, and I got it from Amazon as well, and I just cut that tie right at the end of the connection, and it'll cut it off flush. So normally I would do 10-inch poofs, but because this is not a full 30 foot roll like I'm used to working with, I want to make sure I have enough to at least cover a good amount of this wreath. So I make 8-inch poofs, and I really actually like using this burlap. I thought it was really nice, and the only thing I didn't like was those little snowball things kept coming off. Not too bad, but it came off some. And I don't ever like that. So I just measure from I measured initially from the zip tie that I used to attach the burlap on there, and just measured out 8 inches and then added into a pipe cleaner. So this was roughly 8 inches. So you see my one little poof was a little bit shorter. I think it was maybe like 9 inches, but I needed enough to be able to make sure everything was tied down. So I only had enough for the outer ring, which was fine. I made it work. And so here I'm trying to show you that I was trying to show you how I was calculating the deco mesh that I needed to cut. And I was originally going to go with this, but then I don't know, something dawned on me and realized that I didn't need to go with those measurements. And so I end up going with, I think 24 inches for the inner ring. And I'll show you right here. So I did 24 times the 6 ties on the inner ring, and then I subtracted that total from the total roll of 360, and so that gave me 24-inch cuts on the inner 6 inner rings, not 6 inner rings, 6 inner pipe cleaners, and then 18-inch cuts on the outer 12 pipe cleaners. So there's 6 sections in a wreath frame. Each section gets 3 pipe cleaners, so that's a total of 18 pipe cleaners. So here I'm just going to cut my first 24-inch and my first 1 or 2 18 inches, and then I'll just show you how I attach these. I'm actually going to do the cruffle method with the 24-inch, and then with the 18-inch, I'm going to go with just a ruffle method. So I cut these to fill out one section so you can kind of see how it looks. So here with the excuse me. Here with the cruffle method, I just curl it a couple times on one side, clip it to hold it, and then do another couple. And then I'm just using my fingers to walk up the mesh to make the cruffle portion of it. To make the ruffle portion of it. So that gives you your cruffle. So I just go in and I find one of those 6 pipe cleaners and I just add that right on top. I always like to give it a few good twists. So then with my 18-inch, I folded under about 1 inch of the deco mesh and started walking my fingers up again, and then here at the end there was about another inch that was folded under, and it was really just me trying to mask some of the cut ends. So I do that with the 2 18-inch pieces, and I add them to the wreath frame. And you can see how nice and full and pretty that already looks just with those 2 pieces added on. So again, I fold over 1 inch on to start with, walk my fingers up, and then I make sure that there's 1 inch that's folded under on the opposite end. And then I go ahead and attach that right on top of the pipe cleaner. So as you see, that's really nice and full. It's very pretty, and I actually like the deco mesh and the burlap together. So this cow print, well, I'm about to cut my ribbon tails, and I'm cutting them at 14 inches. And I do that with both of my 2.5-inch wired ribbon. I always work with wired ribbon because it always holds its shape. I don't know if you've ever worked with ribbon that doesn't have wire in it. It doesn't really hold its shape. It kind of just flops over and hangs. And in my opinion, when you're doing wreaths and stuff like that, I don't really like it. I like the perky bows, the full looking bows, but that's just my opinion. So you don't necessarily have to use wire ribbon. You can use regular ribbon when you're doing, non-wired ribbon I should say, when you're doing some bows on some of your projects. I don't recommend for non-wired ribbon to be used as tails. So I've got my one set of ribbon that I just dropped on the floor, and I crisscrossed them just a little bit, folded over to find the middle piece. And then once I found the center, I kind of just crinkle it up in the middle. And here I'm just kind of making sure my tails are curled a little bit and they look all nice and straight. And again, I add it right on top of the pipe cleaner. I don't undo the pipe cleaner. This is up to you if you want to. I personally don't. Then on this, I actually, after giving it a good couple of twists, I just cut it. I leave about a 1/4 of an inch left and tuck that behind the ribbon. Want to make sure you tuck all those little things in because you don't want to hurt anybody with the metal from the pipe cleaner. And here again, I'm just showing you a second time of how to do this. Now, what I actually did on this wreath is I only made a set of 12 tails. I only put the tails on the outer perimeter of the excuse me, of the wreath. The inner pipe cleaners do not get any because I'm actually going to make 2 wreaths. Oh my gosh. Sorry, long day. My mind is just a little fried, so I apologize. But I'm going to make 2 bows to go on the inner piece along with the sign and along with some of the flowers on there. So no need to add the extra ribbon tails. And I just love how it looks. So y'all have to forgive me. I thought I was recording, but I guess I'd accidentally hit it twice and didn't record me making this bow. But I made this bow and I'm just fluffing it out right now. I really like it. I really love the pop of blue that's in this wreath. I love neutral colors, but this blue I thought was such a pretty blue, very springy to me. And I mean, shoot, I'd wear that color all year round. But once I get my tails and my loops where I want to, then I'll go back and I'll you know, trim off the ends, whether I dovetail the 2.5 inch like I'm about to do right now, or whether I cut the 1.5 inch at an angle. You know, I've actually seen some wreath makers that don't even trim the ends of their ribbon. So apparently I didn't show making the other bows, but I'll attach a link to a another video so you can see how I make my bows with my bow maker. So since there was some of that bare area, I thought I would kind of just gather some of the beautiful flowers together and not necessarily spread them out throughout the wreath. Now, if you wanted to spread it out throughout the wreath, then you go right ahead, but I really like the kind of concentrated look that it had here with the sign. And I would say if you like to work with florals and stuff like that, it probably is better to purchase a glue skillet. And basically all it is just like a little, looks like a little skillet, and you get hot glue pellets and you put it in there, and the hot glue melts in there. So you can actually just dip your flower stems in the skillet and do it that way, versus having to like constantly pick up the glue gun and try to get the glue covered on the stem without dropping any glue anywhere else. So that is one investment that I've made, so I can't wait till mine comes in. Now, I just purchased a small one. They've got smaller ones. I think the one I purchased is 4 inches. So, but there definitely is larger ones out there that you can get too. But I purchased that on Amazon. I thought these peonies actually really were a good match with the flowers that's in the sign. I really don't know what flowers they are, but they looked pretty close as far as what kinds they were too. And I've purchased several of these little wreath signs on Temu, and they're not too bad. I mean, they're just, to me, they're on the smaller side, and so I personally don't think it's necessarily a better deal than if I were to say purchase them on Craft Outlet or something. But I personally, I like big things when it comes to wreaths, but this one fit on here, I thought, pretty nicely. They're really great for grapevine wreaths. I've definitely used them on a grapevine wreath, and I like them better on the grapevine wreath than I do on these Deco mesh wreaths. So here's what I'm talking about. I was just constantly picking it up and picking up the hot glue gun and trying to make sure you get it right. Now, when I cut the flowers off, I always like to cut them in the longest pieces possible, because I don't ever know what I'm placing where and how much of the stem I need, so it's better to just cut them longer. But here's how this cute, adorable little cow wreath turned out. I hope you like it. Please give me some comments below and tell me what you think. And if you don't mind subscribing to my channel and helping me grow, I thank you all very much for all the support you've given me. And I hope that you have a very blessed day.